Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joshua, living in Sendai in northeast Japan. Welcome back to my channel, Out of the Psychopathic Forest, or for the Japanese viewers, Psychopath no Mori no Soto de. Very quickly, I want to apologize to the Japanese viewers. Apparently, the auto translation subtitles are not so good. So to remedy this, I'm going to start doing some videos in Japanese. So please look forward to that. Today I want to go into the topic of the Jekyll and Hyde effect, I guess you could call it. Jekyll and Hyde, coming from Robert Louis Stevenson's book by that title, and how that applies to malignant narcissistic abuse. I'll start by sort of demonstrating the duality of the narcissist. I'm sure you come across this in your own relationship. The Dr. Jekyll character is the social character. It is the presentation of the person in public, in society, at work, etc. He exudes a fake sense of responsibility. He comes across as amiable, friendly, perhaps charming, innocent, a little bit shy. This is all the lie. And then at home, he is Mr. Hyde, appropriately named. And Mr. Hyde is the truth. Mr. Hyde is the power-hungry, evil, unrestrained by social norms, unrestrained by moral norms, a malignant narcissist, psychopath who exhibits zero empathy. That is the malignant narcissist, truly. Everything else is a mask. And I'd like to demonstrate this with some examples from my relationship with a psychopathic narcissist and see if you relate to these. And if you do, as I often recommend, get out as quickly and safely as possible. So let me begin with some examples. As I mentioned, I live in Sendai, Japan. In Sendai, Japan, the largest river here in Sendai is the Hirose-gawa. That's the name of the river. And many people who know me know that I spend a lot of time there, either swimming in it or sunbathing at the river bank. Of course, my partner, the psychopathic ex, became aware of this and would sometimes say, "Why don't we go to the river?" knowing that that's something I absolutely love to do. And in the beginning, I was thrilled. So we would walk from the apartment to the river. And what would happen? Every single time, no exaggeration, every single time we walked to the river, she would look for other people. So we'd find a place to sit on the river bank, we'd put our stuff down, get situated, and she would stand up and go to the woman over there who has a dog, sit down with her and talk with her for 45 minutes. Go over there to the old man who's fishing and talk with him. Or she would sit and talk to ducks at the riverside. In any case, she wasn't going to talk to me. So what was happening? I have no confusion about this anymore. What was happening was she was attempting to make herself look so good to these people, so friendly and charming and natural, and at the same time being incredibly abusive to me. In fact, ignoring that I'm even there, denying my very existence. Number three, planting a sort of disdain for the Hirose River in my own heart. Well, that didn't work. Still love the river. But anyways, let's move on to another example. I remember when we were early on in the relationship, and we would be in the city. And Sendai is a city of about 1.2 million or so, I think. And so there are lots of crosswalks with crosswalk lights, right? Red and green. And there are some streets, however, that are so small that don't really require them. The problem is, however, at nighttime, the lights don't change. So no matter how much traffic there is, the lights remain on. So at those times, I feel kind of ridiculous standing there and waiting. So I said, well, let's just go, it's late, there are no cars. We cross. When we get to the other side, she said to me, and another person who was with us at the time, I'm so ashamed. I hope that my grandmother, her grandmother is dead by the way, passed away, I really hope that my grandmother doesn't look down on me and think I'm a bad person. Now, who is this? Who is this for? Why are you saying this? Makes her look like she's really caring about her grandmother. And my question was, well, so does your grandmother support abuse then? Because at home you're an abusive monster. She couldn't answer that question. Let's talk about Christmas. Christmas 2021. A friend of mine from France and his Japanese wife invited us to Christmas dinner. There were going to be some other guests there. I told the psychopathic ex, would you like to come? And she said, I'll consider it, as if she were so above it. There. She came 3 hours late. She always came about that much time late to every event. She came about 3 hours late. She came in, everyone greeted her, how are you, etc. And she did her charming bit. And then the topics turned to big people topics, adult topics, things about art or philosophy or politics or whatever. Work. At that point, she completely exited. She just turned in her seat and played with a little trinket on the table. It's embarrassing. But when we decided to leave, there was this other woman, I think she was from Thailand. She's a university student, I believe a graduate student. And it was snowing outside and we were walking home. And this student, her place was on our way, so the three of us walked together. And I had my bicycle. And for the first time in the entire relationship, the psychopathic ex said to me, in front of the girl, now remember that's very important, Joshua, why don't you let me push your bike, and if you'd like, have a cigarette. This joker never once in the relationship ever suggested such things. And what I realized was she wanted to paint herself as this loving, caring, charming person. Look how wonderful I am. Total falsity. Total. I'm sure the girl didn't believe it, actually. She appeared to me to be pretty perceptive and didn't really buy into it. But the psychopathic ex felt good about herself for a little while. In public, she would touch me on my shoulders. At friends' homes, she would say lovey-dovey stuff to me. She would praise my accomplishments. Whereas at home, she would punch me. She would treat me like garbage, like a dog. Nothing I did was right. In Yamamoto, I've mentioned this cupboard before. You may be sick of hearing it, but it plays a kind of essential role. When I moved to Yamamoto, of course, I brought the cupboard with me. And she wanted to throw a party for a friend of hers who was going to get married. Now, in our entire relationship, this was the first time she had ever invited anyone to our place. Ever. Now, I know why. Because she was lying to her friends, and if her friends were to meet me and see that I wasn't what she said I was, they may have doubts about her story. So on this particular day, I decided to take the day off. I didn't tell her. And I said, She said, "Are you going to work?" "No, I'd like to join in on the party. I'd like to meet your friend. I'd like to celebrate as well." What did she do? She immediately drove to the supermarket and stayed. I can see the supermarket from the apartment in Yamamoto. She stayed in the parking lot in her car for about 30 minutes. I have no doubt what she was doing was cleaning up whatever lies or preparing her friend for something. Anyway, she told her I was going to be there. It's like, what's the big deal, you know? The friend came that evening, had prepared some food for her and some wine, etc. When she arrived, she looked at that cupboard and said, "Oh my God, I love that, it's beautiful," etc. Now, at that time, my psychopathic ex agreed and said, "Isn't it so wonderful?" Now, in closed doors, she hated it. She couldn't stand it. She wouldn't put her cups in there because she didn't want to open the door and close it and lock it. Open the door, close it and lock it. Yes, that small of a thing. And I just laughed, like, what are you? You're just, I mean, this is a small example, but you're such a liar. But it was all to agree with her friend and show her charm and how much she appreciates my things, blah, blah, blah. A total lie. I'm going to do another. Danae. Now, the owner of Danae has given me permission to talk about this. She knows the psychopath and who she is. Most people in Sendai now know as well, because I made it a point to expose. But this particular owner of a restaurant called Danae, I've mentioned before, this is a place I really love to go. I still love to go there. I had invited the psychopathic ex there a few times. And the first time upon leaving, she stayed and did her charming poor victim sort of speech that she did with all my friends, trying to get attention and to get sympathy from this woman who's in her 80s. Didn't exactly work. I think she underestimated these people. However, she went a few more times and pretended that she cared and that she liked them. Meanwhile, at home, she would scream and yell at me, and she would say the owner of Danae's name like this, and "Why don't you go marry her? I don't understand why you like her so much, blah, blah, blah." By the way, if I know you and she knows you, you can rest assured she talks shit about you too. And by the way, that includes her own friends. Amazing. They're psychopathic abusers at home. And the only reason this works is because in public, for a short while, they can wear a charming mask. Basically, all you have to do is spend a little bit of time with them before you realize something's wrong. They're total fakes. Tear the lid off of that mask. Tear it off. Once you get educated and you start to figure it out, get out, tear it off. You do what you have to do. Don't let others tell you. If you want to expose them, you expose them. Me personally, I'm all for that. Because in my personal view, these are the most dangerous people of society. And to get rid of the Dr. Hyde or the Mr. Hyde, we should banish the Dr. Jekyll. In Japanese, there's a phrase for this. Shima nagashi. I like that phrase a lot. We unfortunately can't get rid of these people from society completely. We can take them to court, however. We can take them to court. We can expose. I'm not recommending that, but I'm telling you that's certainly what I'm doing. Expose the narcissist if you can. In any case, get out. Get away from them immediately. They're a danger. They're a danger to society, but more importantly and privately, they're a danger to you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you subscribe. Thank you.